Polycarp, the bishop of Smyrna, one of the apostolic fathers. Polycarp was a servant of Christ and bishop of church in Smyrna, a city in the province of Asia now known as Izmir. He was born around the year 60 in the days when the memories of the Lord still burned brightly in the hearts of his apostles. Polycarp had the great honor of being a disciple of John, the apostle whom Jesus loved. He heard him teach with his own ears and saw with his own eyes those who had walked with the Lord himself. It was the apostles who appointed him as bishop of Smyrna. Although he was still young, they entrusted him with the care of the flock, and he did not shrink from the task. Throughout his life, Polycarp labored to preserve the truth of the gospel as it had been handed down to him. He opposed false teachings whenever he found them, especially the poison of Gnosticism and the arrogance of Marcion, whom he once called the firstborn of Satan when Marcion asked if he knew him. Polycarp wrote a letter to the faithful in Philippi. Perhaps they had read it. In it, he encouraged them to live uprightly, to hold fast to the faith, and to stand in unity as members of Christ's body. In that letter, he drew from the holy writings what they now call the New Testament. He quoted from the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, from the Acts of the Apostles, and from the letters of Paul, Peter, and John. These were not new or strange texts to him. They were already treasured in his assemblies, proclaimed aloud, and held as truth. He lived to the age of 86, and throughout those years he served his Lord without regret. But in the end, the Roman authorities declared him a criminal, not for theft or violence, but because he bore the name of Christ. They came for him in the quiet of a farmhouse where he was staying. Though he could have fled, he chose not to. He had no fear. They brought him to the stadium in Smyrna, where a crowd had gathered. The proconsul urged him, "Swear by the genius of Caesar, curse Christ, and I will release you." But Polycarp could not. He replied, 86 years have I served him, and he has done me no wrong. How then can I blaspheme my King and Savior? They sentenced him to be burned, and they lit the fire. He stood firm. The flames rose, but so they say, did not touch him. It was as though the fire curved around his body. When they saw that he did not die, a soldier was ordered to thrust a blade into him. So it was that Polycarp gave up his spirit, not in defeat, but in triumph, bearing witness to the one true God. His death was not the end, but a testimony. He was but one of many, a servant of Christ who would not bend to the idols of this world. His life and his death continue to encourage others to remain steadfast, to hold fast the faith once delivered to the saints.